Good evening, everyone. Welcome to part 2 of the MMAOB Daily Podcast for Monday, July 31st, 2023. I'm your host, as always, Adam Martin, joined by my co-host here, Big Marcel. Monday evenings, Marcel. Always look forward to it with you, my friend. Always talk about the fights, man. Love it. We're going to be breaking down UFC Nasvhille today. So I think a shorter card, right, Marcel? 11 fights at this point. Like, do you expect anything else to be added, like, very last minute or no?
They're still searching for an opponent for Sean Woodson. So, yeah.
Really? That's good to know. That's great to know. Okay.
Yeah, Jesse Butler was supposed to fight him, but he got pulled. So,
he shouldn't have been booked for a fight a month after getting knocked out. Like, that's right. Like, he shouldn't have been booked.
It's like the Jared Gordon thing all over again.
Same thing. Who was Woodson supposed to fight originally again? It was
Steve Garcia, I think.
Yeah, that would have been a banger. Fuck, that would have been a good fight. But either way, not getting that one, guys. But we still have, I think, 11 fights, like I said. So let's get right into it, Marcel.
And it's a good card, dude.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. So I always ask you, like, what do you think of the card heading into it right now?
Bro, I love the card, man. I mean, it pretty much says everything when you have Raoni, Barcelos, Phillips, Billy Quarantillo, Damon Jackson on the
Jeremiah Wells.
Jeremiah Wells against Carlston Harris, you know?
Yeah.
The only fight that really didn't look to be in the main card should be Camur Boser. Yeah, I don't know why it's there. I don't know. I don't want to shit on the guys, but I don't know, why it's there. But it's like a replacement for a 265 fight, maybe, that they actually wanted to have on this card. So it's like, let's put that one on it. But I don't know. But it looks overall like a fun card, and they should, man. This is in front of an audience. So I mean, this is not a fucking Apex card. This is in Nashville, Music City. Looking forward to it, man. It should be a banger. And I mean, the main event is an absolute banger in my opinion. I love the co-main event as well. I'm really looking forward to how that will play out. And a lot of fun fights on this card, man. You got also Jacoby against Kennedy, which I like. You got Diego Lopes' second fight, which is fun. So, I pretty much probably already said almost every name, which I like on the card. So that's a pretty good card. And fuck, dude, I love Hadley against Durden. That's a great fight as well.
It's a good card. I agree. Like the prelims are nice on this card. Anyways, let's get some comments. We got Antoine, got Joe. Yeah, it's 11 fights, Joe. Because right now it's 11. There could be Marcel just mentioned, if you guys are coming late, UFC is still actively looking for an opponent to fight Sean Woodson. Maybe they can get someone on short notice. Imagine they bring back Sam Alvey to fight him. He's a Tennessee guy. That'd be funny. Wells and Carlston's good. 2 Canadians. Yeah, that's true actually. Hopefully they both win, but we'll see. We obviously have our boy, the governor, Gavin Tucker, and then Bulldozer Tanner Boser. That's a great fight too. Billy Q, Dave Jackson. All right, let's just get into it. Like, let's not waste any time here. All right, guys, let's get into it. As always, using the bout order from UFCstats.com. First fight of the night, we have flyweights Osbourne and Assu Almabayev. And the odds for this fight have Assu is the favorite here. -1, where is it? Yeah, -175 and +145 for Osbourne. Your pick.
So first of all, I put a tweet out to Osbourne and Cody Durden. Please, guys, fight in the octagon and don't fight in the hotel, because those two really don't like each other. They're probably with each other in the hotel.
Who, Cody and Ode? Who?
Yeah, they really don't like each other. Cody and Ode. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You should check their Twitter more frequently. They are going hard against each other all the time. Okay. So Ode, I like Ode a lot, man. He's a fun fighter. He got some bad losses in the UFC against okay opposition, definitely against Manuel Cap, which is a very good opposition, but he got knocked out by Tyson Nam as well. That's why Tyson Nam shouldn't have been cut in the UFC either. I think he's a great fighter. Got that split decision win over Charles Johnson. I think that should have been unanimous. I think we both picked Charles Johnson in that fight last time, but Ode did very well, and he won the fight. Assu Almabayev, he comes from Brave CF, the biggest organization in the Middle East. Got wins there over Zach Makowski, Alexander Daskalchuk, and Kai Alankar, who was fighting on the Contender Series, but the Alankar fight was actually not in Brave, as far as I can remember. Got some solid wins, man, also against UFC veterans, like I said, Zach Makowski, Chris Kalaitis. But these guys haven't been in the UFC for years, and those are still pretty decent guys, but are they still on that level? I don't know, man. It's very difficult, this one. I feel like Azat Maksum I was pretty convinced in, but he had the difficult already. And Assu Almabayev, he's not bad, but I don't think he's better than Maxum, in my opinion. This will be another close fight, to be honest, man. I wouldn't be surprised if either guy wins by a split decision. I'm going to go with O'Day here. I'm picking O'Day by decision. I think it will be a close fight. It will be a fun one. I'm picking O'Day. O'Day.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it can go either way, too. I really do. Like, O'Day's a pretty solid fighter. He's got experience in the UFC. Inconsistent, but still a pretty good fighter. Pretty well-rounded, right? Again, he's been knocked out a few times, but is this guy really going to knock him out? Probably not. It's probably going to be a grappling match. That's what I think it's going to be, Marcel. A lot of grappling in this fight. This guy has so much momentum, though. How many wins in a row does he have? He has 13 straight wins. I mean, that's a lot of wins. Again, not against the best competition, but not against horrible competition either. Like, he has the win over Zach Markovsky, the former Bellator. I think he was the champion in Bellator at one point. Chris Calais was in the UFC. He had a few wins there. So it's not like he's been fighting scrubs. And then one of the losses to Jir, right, which is not a bad loss to have. But again, he's not proven at the UFC level, Almabayev, right? So I really have no idea, Marcel, how he's going to perform. He's kind of a finished product. Maybe not finished product, but he's 29. So it's not like he's 20. He's coming here a bit later in his career. A lot of experience, 19 fights. This is his 20th fight. Yeah, it could go either way. Maybe Osbourne pulls it off. I'll go with Almabayev. Marcel will win a close decision, but it's not a fight I want to bet on personally. No interest in betting it. Not sure what Almabayev coming off a 3-3 guy. Yeah, that last win is not great, but he does have that win over Markovsky before that, right, which is a nice win. So, and then it was a split decision too, though. So it's not like it was dominant. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens, Marcel. I really don't have a great read on this fight, to be honest, guys. Like, you never know how this guy's going to perform in the UFC. There was that other flyweight guy a few weeks ago. What was his name, Marcel? The guy fight Tyson Nam. What was his name again?
Maxum.
Yeah. He didn't really, cover the minus 400. Now, in this case, it's only minus 175, but I'm just saying, like, slow your roll a bit with some of these newcomers, right? You never really know. I'll be honest, if you bet on him in that fight, the last Maxum guy, you kind of got lucky because most people thought Tyson Nam won that fight. Not most people, but a lot of people, I should say, because I know you didn't, Marcel. And
I think it was close. Could be either way.
There you go. All right, go to the next fight here. Jake Hadley taking on Cody Durden in the flyweight division, and odds for this fight have Hadley same odds, minus 175, Cody plus 145. So you got two flyweight fights, identical odds for both the fights. Your thoughts, man?
Yeah, man. I think this will be a super close fight, to be honest, man. Cody is pretty much he wanted this fight. He said this is my home. This is my home. I want to fight here, and that's why I took the fight. I think it will be close. I think this will be grappling a lot. I think it depends on who is more dominant in this one. And for me, it's like, listen, I'm pretty high on Hadley still. I think he's very good. But you saw him against Alan Nascimento, man, and that was a really bad fight of his, And I think Cody isn't as big as Alan Nascimento, but he can get the control and being dominant here as well, I'm picking Cody by decision, dude. I think Cody can win this fight. So I think it's a close one, but I'm taking Cody. I have more, how do you say that? I feel more confident in his wrestling in this one, so I'm going with Cody.
Fair. By the way, this guy's saying Cody is in the next fight. It's still booked against who?
Yeah, against Bruno Silva in September. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I think Cody could be, again, a close fight, right? I don't blame myself for going with the first two dogs, because both these fights could have an upset. I think Cody's definitely got the style to give Jake problems, right? Because you saw that fight with Alan Nascimento, where he kind of got taken down, controlled, and Cody could do that. I don't like the submission losses that Cody has, right? Like, he's had a few of them now, so I definitely think this dude can tie his neck up and choke him out. I think Jake's, man, they're both pretty good fighters, but like Jake's got a lot of promise, I think. I was kind of against him getting signed originally because he missed weight on his fight, but guy's fucking talented. There's no doubt about it, Marcel. So it's funny, we're going to start off with two other opposite picks. I'll go with I'm going to go with Hadley. I'll take him by submission. I'll tell you this, Marcel. Watch, we're going to go 1-1 of these first two fights.
Yeah, definitely.
Of course we are, right? Of course. There's no way both of us are going to get them both wrong. It's tough. These are two tough ones to call. Again, not a fight I want to bet on. I don't want to bet these first two fights personally. Flyweight fights, go ask our boy Mike's MMA picks, MMA Oddsbreaker. He's really good at the flyweight fights. These two they're both pretty close fights, in my opinion. To be honest, the favorites are probably a little bit overvalued, but I still think, that those are my picks. All right, let's go to the next fight here, guys. Pulling it up right now. And again, that the Sean Woodson fight, we don't know who's going to fight yet. Hopefully, he gets a fight. Now we do know about this fight, and this is a banger: Billy Quarantillo against Damon Jackson. It's buried on the prelims here, which is crazy because this could easily be fight of the night. It's a great fight. Odds for this one, guys: Billy Q minus 180, Damon Jackson plus 150. Marcel, let me hear your pick.
Yeah, man. I mean, Damon Jackson. I picked him in his last fight against Dan Egan, man, and it was a really bad pick. I remember. But I think Damon has been has developed, since his first run in the UFC. Went to PFL, didn't work out, but I think he looked good lately in the UFC. Got 4 wins in a row. Then fought Dan Ige, lost. Billy Q is kind of guy who I always was like, he's fun, but how good is he really? I'm really how do you say that, curious about that. And he got the win over Alexander Hernandez. The first round, he looked really bad in that first round, came back and he finished him. Last time, he got knocked out by Edson Barbosa. I don't think there's any, how do you say that? Any shame in that? Yeah, any shame in that? I think Billy comes back in this one. I'm picking Billy here. I think he gets done. Does he finish him? I don't know, man. Damon's pretty tough. I know Dan finished him, but Billy doesn't pack the same punch as Dan, I think. Billy Q decision, but a fun one. I think this is going to be a fun fight.
Yeah, I think it could be fight of the night. It's a great fight. Both guys, I like both guys a lot. Both 88 birthdays like me, Marcel. So there's a lot of guys. So I was looking through the card yesterday. I'm like, all these guys are born in 88, just like me. Carlston Harris, I think, is another guy that's no, it's not Carl. It's someone else. Who is it? Barcelos, maybe? Can't remember. There's another one. Those are 87s, but still right around the same age. Yeah, this was tricky too, I think, man. I like Billy too, but Damon's solid, man. Really good grappler. We know that, right? Really good grappler. And Billy Q's takedown defense is 58%, and he's had quite a few fights now. So I think that's a sample size that we can kind of look at a little bit more. He's had 9 fights in the UFC or Dana White's Contender Series. I don't trust that takedown defense very much, to be honest with you. I think Damon could grind this out, man. I think you can just take him down a little bit and hold him there. I don't know if he'll submit Billy Q. Billy Q's fucking durable. He's dirty. Meant to say durable. I don't know why I said that. He's very durable, obviously, though.
Yeah, you were thinking about something else, probably. So yeah.
I know he got knocked out by Edson. I'm just saying in general, Marcel, he's kind of a guy that will fight hard for the 3 rounds. He'll be there for the full 3. But I think Damon is too. He did get knocked out in his last fight. That's a worry here. Obviously, Damon could get finished again. But yeah, I'm kind of thinking Damon kind of takes it in deep waters, grinds it out. That's kind of what I'm leaning here, Marcel. So slightly into Damon Jackson for me, guys, as a dog. Not a super confident pick, but that's my lean. I'm leaning him.
All different picks.
Yeah, I know. Crazy, eh?
Are we going to end up level again?
Probably. I mean, we had that happen with the London card, right? So a lot of people in Billy Q, Billy Q train in the chat, just looking at it right now. Maybe I'm on a what's it called? I don't know. Pedestal by myself. I don't know. On an island, I should say. That's what I'm on. But I'll take Damon Jackson. All right, we'll go to the next fight here. This is a good fight too. Jeremiah Wells taking on Carlston Harris. Great fight. I mean, really, this should be higher in the card, in my opinion. Odds for this one, guys, we have Jeremiah Wells minus 155, Carlston Harris plus 135. I'll let you go again. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jeremiah Wells got highly disrespected by the UFC because of his fight IQ here. His last fight against Samuelsberger, he was smart how he fought, edged out a decision there, still undefeated in the UFC. If you look at Carlston Harris, he looked good in the UFC, only lost to Shavkat Rakhmonov, but who hasn't? I feel like, listen, Jeremiah Wells has showed that he has fight IQ, Why don't you take this fight to the ground? I think there is his advantage. Why standing with a guy who has also some kind of some solid power? And I don't say Carlston can't fight on the ground, but I think Jeremiah is a little bit better. I'm taking Jeremiah Wells here. He either subs him late or he gets a decision win. I'm going with decision win for Jeremiah Wells here.
Taking him too. I'm not super confident though. Like I like this guy a lot. I think he's really good, but like I don't know, man. I think Carlston Harris matches up decently well against him. Like he's pretty big dude. He's pretty well rounded too. He takes guys down too. He can strike with you as well. So like this is a competitive fight in my opinion. That's why the line's so close, right? But I do lean towards Wells just because, like you said, like that last fight, and I think the reason he's so far down the card is because UFC didn't like that he was wrestling. But like that's how he needed to win the fight. That's how he had to win. So you did see that. Like he got rocked, he got dropped, and he immediately went to the takedown. I like that. Because the other fights, he was just destroying guys, right? So we know he's got huge power. We know he's got wrestling. We know he's got heart. We know he's got a decent chin because he survived that and recoverability. He's a solid fighter. He should win the fight. But again, like the other guy matches up pretty well physically too. He's taller, longer, and big power from Carlston Harris, and also submissions as well and experience as well. So I mean, I think it's kind of a close fight, man. Personally, I think the odds are kind of right where they should be. Jeremiah Wells is a slight favorite, but I'm not super confident in here personally, man. I do think he'll win the fight, Marcel. But again, it's this card. I don't know. Like, there's not a lot of fights that jump out at me for a few bets. There's a few coming up later, but yeah, I would lean his way. But it's not like jumping off the page for me. I'm like, holy crap, I can't wait to bet this fight. There's a few other ones that I like better. Anyways, let's go to the next fight here, guys. We have anything else? Actually, sorry. Is there anything else you wanted to say? Are you good?
We're good. We're good.
Alrighty. Let's go to the next fight here, guys. We got Kyler the Matrix Phillips taking on Raoni Barcelos. I mean, this could be fight of the night as well, right? Like, actually, yeah, it definitely could be. Great fight here. Kyler Phillips minus 200. Raoni Barcelos plus 170. Let me start on this one, Marcel, because I've let you start on most of them. I like the Matrix here, man. I like the Matrix here, minus 200. I think the odds are nice. Like, he's a really good young fighter. He hasn't been fighting much. The suspensions aren't good. Man, he's good though. Solid everywhere. Barcelos, I don't know, man. He hasn't looked great lately, man. Marcel, like, he looks like he's on a decline. Man, I really like Raoni, but again, short notice. He's 36 now. He's coming in on really, like I said, short notice. Coming off a brutal knockout loss. He looks like he's slowing down everywhere. His chin's been getting cracked. Kyler Phillips, he can strike, he can submit you, he can wrestle. I thought he should have had a draw at least against Hadley and Paiva. I think he should be undefeated right now in the UFC. Again, there's some question marks with this USADA thing. It's kind of weird, and the layoff, but man, I think he's looked great. And that win over Song Yadong has aged really well for him too. So I think Kyler Phillips gets it done. I think at minus 200, that's a guy I like. He's one of the guys in the prelims that I like the most. Hopefully it doesn't blow it for him, but I think he wins. Probably decision because Raoni's tough, but he could finish maybe too. I like him here though, man.
Yeah, you know what's funny? While we were talking about the Carlston Harris Jeremiah Wells fight, I got a message here on my phone which says Carlston Harris is now following you, so he's obviously not watching the podcast because I pay Wells. What the hell?
No, he's following. He's gonna yell at you in DMs now.
Super coincidental, man. But okay, I'm with you, man. I love Raoni Barcelos. I've always been a big fan of this, but I still feel like the UFC got him too late in the promotion. 2 or 3 years too late. Super fun fighter to watch. But man, Kyler Phillips is likely one of the best bantamweights who is not ranked. I'm really big on Kyler Phillips for a long time. He got that win over Song Yadong, which is aged amazingly. I'm definitely with Kyler Phillips here. How do I pick him? Raoni is pretty tough, but man, I wouldn't be surprised if he finishes him. I think maybe a late finish in the third round would be a bet worthy. I think
TKO. Yeah, I like Phillips in this fight, guys. I've always liked this guy. He's a really good prospect, and I think he should be top 15 soon. All right, let's go to the next fight. This fight could be fight of the night. We got Ignacio Bahamondes taking on Ludovit Klein, Mr. Highlight. This is an amazing fight. I love this fight. 2 strikers. You're going to have a fun fight here, boys. Minus 205 for Ignacio, plus 175 for Ludovit Klein. I'll start on this one too, Marcel. I'm not going against my boy. I've picked Ignacio all his fights in the UFC. He did lose to McDessie in the first fight, but he's got it back with the 3 straight wins. He is such a great prospect. I like Klein too. He's a good fighter, great striker, but dude, look at the size disadvantage for him. Ignacio's 6'3", 75-inch reach at lightweight. Massive. And he's only 25. He's so young. 8 inches of height, 3 inches of reach. Ludovit's actually pretty young too. He's only 28. He's not super old by any means, but I just think Bahamondes is the real deal, guys. I think most of you guys probably do too. I think his style's on him here. I don't know if he finishes Klein. Klein's pretty tough, but it's possible. And I also feel like a sneaky spot is a submission for Bahamondes. Take a look at that. He could maybe get him with that same submission that Nate Landwehr got with those long arms. So I think he styles on him, man. I like Klein, but I think this is a great matchup for Bahamondes. I absolutely expect to win. I really like him here. Minus 205 is really good odds on this guy. I expect him to just pour the volume on, and like I said, either win a clear decision or maybe even submit this dude or knock him out. I really like him here, man. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I love Ludovit Klein as well, but I think Ignacio Bahamondes is likely one of the biggest up-and-comers, biggest, youngest fighters in the division. I really like him. The Ogden fight wasn't that amazing, but takes two to tango, they say, So it's sometimes hard when your opponent isn't like the one you want to see in front of you. And I think Klein is a very fun fighter to watch as well, and I think he brings it as well. So I think this is going to be a banger. So, but I got to side with Bahamondes for the same reasons, like you just said. Can you get a finish? Maybe, but Ludovit is pretty tough, man. I think I go with a decision. I think that's the safest play here.
Yeah.
Decision win for Ignacio Bahamondes. Yeah.
Well, there we go. Finally, we started agreeing on some fights because we started off with just like that UFC London card.
Finally, man. Finally.
I know. All right, so the next fight here, guys. The fight that should not be on the main card is Tanner Boser and Aleksa Camur. I mean, this is a prelim written all over it. Why is this on the main card? I don't get this at all. I would have either put Billy Q and Damon Jackson, or I would put Phillips or Barcelos, or Wells and Harris. Like, this is just weird. Like, I'm not expecting a great fight. I'll be honest. Anyways, odds. I'll start on this one too. -166, Boser, Camur +140. I have no idea. I'll be honest, Marcel. Like, how do you really have an accurate read of this fight, guys? Like, Camur hasn't fought in 2 years. It could be a completely different fighter.
The only thing the only thing I can think about is like if Mick Maynard or Sean Shelby is screaming to Dana, "Hey Dana, yeah, should we put Aleksa on the main card?" What the hell? Of course you put Aleksa on the main card. Okay. And then they put Aleksa on the main card. But it's Aleksa Camur, not Aleksa Grosso. So It doesn't make sense. Yeah, I have no idea, dude, how this fight comes to the main card. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. I really don't know like what to expect from this fight. Like, because again, this guy's been away for so long. He's okay. I wasn't too impressed with him in the UFC or even a Contender, to be honest with you. Like, he looked okay at that flying knee knock. But in the UFC, sorry, a Contender was impressed, obviously. But like the other fights were just in the UFC, not great to watch, honestly, man. And he hasn't had much success. But again, he's pretty young. He trains with Stipe. He could get better. But still not much experience. And then Boser, I thought he would look a lot better against Kutlov, gets destroyed in 2 minutes. He's had a rough UFC career. He's had a lot of fights that have been close decisions that he probably should have got at least 1 or 2 of. Like, I thought he clearly beat Arlovsky in that fight. That to me was a bad decision, really bad decision. Actually, I'm looking at the stats. It was 68-34, and Arlovsky won unanimously. That is just fucked. Like, anyways, Latifi, that was okay. Here's the thing: the Boser Arlovsky fight pisses me off because it was just striking, and the guy who landed double the strikes lost. Right, with Boser and Latifi, it's control versus striking, right? So like, it's kind of one of those weird ones. And same with the Nascimento Boser fight. But the point is, like, this guy's in close fights usually, except for the last fight. It does kind of make me wonder, Marcel, like, is the chin diminished of this weight class? He's just a hard guy to trust, guys. He's lost 4 of his last 5 fights. Like, how do you actually put money in Boser? And I really like Tanner. He's a Canadian guy. Of course, I want him to win as a fellow Canadian, but like, it's as looking at it objectively as I can. I just can't put money on him here. I'll pick him, Marcel, because he has more experience, because he's been fighting more actively, and because I do feel like he's due for some positive regression in his favor. But still, like, it's just a weird fight. And Camur could come in there and maybe grind it out. Imagine he just takes him down and holds him down. Boser's going to be so pissed. We'll see what happens. I'll take Boser. Camur's been pretty tough. I'll take him by decision. But again, if you look at it, Boser doesn't win many decisions. So that's sketchy. I'll take Boser by decision, but it's not really confident. It's not a fight I'm betting on at all. Any thoughts?
Total toss-up this fight. I got to go with my gut feeling. I also picking Boser purely because Boser has been active and Camur has pretty much been inactive. But it's like maybe Camur has done something crazy behind the scenes. And we see Aleksa Camur 2.0. I don't know if 2.0. I'm picking Boser, but I'm far from convinced. Toss up.
Decision or finish?
Decision. If it's a finish, it's early. Otherwise, a decision.
Are you looking forward to this fight?
No. I mean, I don't. It's like I don't want to shit on these fighters, but it's pretty much like a shit break, Listen, let's put it this way: if I have to go to the toilet, I likely go during this fight. But I mean, I still have my phone with me to watch. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
it's like it's just not really appealing, this fight, and I wonder why it's on the main card over a Billy Q, Damon Jackson, and Kylo Phillips against
I don't
Raoni
understand it at all.
Barcelos.
I really don't get it. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Hopefully they change the bout order, because, like, yeah, I'm not feeling this fight, guys. Maybe it's supposed to be a great fight. I don't see it though. Anyways,
I don't want them to change the bout order anymore because I have my preview ready for the main card, so it's okay. Let's keep it this way now.
fair enough. All right, let's go to the next fight here, Marcel. We have Diego Lopes taking on Gavin Tucker, the Canadian at featherweight. Back-to-back Canadians on a card in Nasvhille. Okay, I'll take it. Anyways, Lopes slightly favored here, minus 148, and then plus 124 on Gavin Tucker. So really close odds. I'll start on this one too, Marcel. Again, kind of a weird one. I think Lopes probably wins. He looked pretty damn good against Almabayev, and he didn't win the fight, but like showed that he belongs in the UFC. But at the same time, he still lost, right? And he lost a contender. I know it was against a good fighter, but like recently, if you look at his record, his last 6 fights, or his last let me double check this. Take off the grapple. Yeah, his last 5 fights, he's 2-3. So like, I like the fighter, but like he's still 2-3 in his last 5 fights. So not a guy you can necessarily trust, really, right now. Gavin Tucker, he's actually 37 now. Wow, I didn't realize that. That's crazy. Yeah, I didn't even realize he was 37. He's definitely getting up there in age. I mean, he hasn't fought much, right? He hasn't fought since that Gandige fight where he got KO'd with the 1 punch in 22 seconds. But he did have some good performances in the UFC over the years, like the Billy Q fight, the Justin James fight, Sungwoo Choi. Like, he had some good wins, man. And let me check the odds. Yeah, he was a plus 160 odds against Billy. He's usually been like a small favorite or a dog. So, I mean, the guy's decent, right? He did get caught in his last fight, but he's a decent fighter. But again, it's hard to like go with the guys that fought in 2 years. Like, I don't know what to expect from Gavin Tucker. I do know he'll try to wrestle, and the fight's going to go to the ground. But again, Lopes is like really good in the ground with the submissions, and he can reverse you, sweep you. Like, Gavin Tucker's never been sub though too. So I don't know, man. This is kind of a tricky one. Like, I think there's a lot of people who are going to take a shot on Gavin Tucker as a dog here because of the experience in the UFC. And honestly, like he's a pretty good fighter. But again, the age, 37 to 28, man. I don't know. That's a big age gap. Lopes is he's 5 inches taller as well and 6 inches of reach. So yeah, I got to go with Lopes, Marcel. The question is, like, does he win by submission or decision? I don't know. I mean, Gavin's never been submitted before, but I guess this could be the guy to do it. I don't think he knocks him out, but I mean, that's always on the table because Gavin's taking some punishment in his career, right? Like that fight with Rick Glenn aged him like 10 years. But the crazy thing is he came back and looked great after that, right? And then you saw against Ige, it's just like bang. So that shit can go at any time. It's a ticking time bomb. Anyways, Lopes. Let me see how this. Lopes, like, I mean, if you look at his record, most of his wins are by stoppage. I guess that's how he's going to win. But again, not if I have the best read on, I guess, Marcel. What do you think, man? Let me hear your thoughts. What do you think?
First of all, I want to reply to John Newquist that Tucker reminds me of Chiesa Saturday. Actually, the funny thing is, Tucker beat in his debut Sam Sicilia, who is like the best friend of Michael Chiesa. So that's pretty funny, in my opinion. Nobody's laughing, but hey, then I'm laughing. So about this fight, yeah, I gotta go deeper into the Lopes thing. Like you said, he's 2-3 in his last 5 fights. He took a fight against Joe Anderson Brito on a week notice. Yeah, because Brito was supposed to fight Ashkabov in the Contender Series. He lost that fight. Then he fought Nate Richardson in FAC, I think. Well, I don't know for sure where it was. That was a bad decision, dude. I think Lopes won that fight. He lost a split decision there. And I know I heard backstage that the UFC was watching that fight closely, and if he won that fight, he could have got a chance in the UFC. So he didn't. Then he came back, fought Almabayev, very good fight from him. I think definitely first round. Lost the fight, but he lost in the way that everybody still remembers him. Super popular now after that loss. Yeah, and Gavin Tucker. Gavin Tucker is a guy who I like to see fighting, but we've seen him not for a long time. I think his last fight was 2021 against Dan Ige. Got knocked out within a minute. And remember that Ricky Glenn fight? That was awful. I always remember that one where the referee should have been stopped that fight like years ago, and he let him keep going. I'm going with Lopes here. I think Lopes submits him later in the fight, second or third round. Diego Lopes. So yeah,
There you
go
go.
for the Brazilian here.
There you go. So we have the same pick there. All right, next fight here. A good one. Dustin Jacoby taking on Kenny Nzechukwu at light heavyweight. Fun fight here, Marcel. Odds for this fight, guys. Minus 155 Kennedy, plus 130 Jacoby. I'll start on this one too. I like Kennedy in the fight, man. I think Kennedy's on the upswing right now, guys. He's been a really reliable guy lately. Overall in his career, he's been pretty reliable. He's looked great. I mean, his striking's getting better. His submissions are getting better. He's super tough. We know that. Other than that Dawoon Jung fight, that was crazy. But he's looked great pretty much throughout his UFC career. Like even the losses, like the loss to Nikolai, it was a close fight. He could have won that one. And the fight with Paul Craig, in his debut, Marcel, he was winning that fight and lost with like 40 seconds left.
Yeah,
so
I remember that.
Yeah, so like he's had a pretty good run in the UFC, and he's getting better, right? He's 31 actually. Sorry. So he's actually a little bit like he's not a prospect anymore. He's not a prospect anymore. He's a legitimate like fighter. I don't know if you can call him a contender, but he's a top 15 fighter. And obviously he's blessed with size, right? 6'5", 83-inch reach, southpaw. There's just a lot to like, a lot of physical tools. He's tough, dude, man. Tough, very tough dude. I like him, Marcel. And then Jacoby, he's been a good fighter throughout his career too. Great striker, we know that, guys. But I feel like he's on a bit of a decline, right? Like the last fight with Azamat, I picked Azamat, and he dropped him and almost finished him. He's lucky he didn't get knocked out. The Khalil fight, he should have won that fight, but it's still like closer than it should have been, right? I really like Dustin, but I do feel kind of like he's on a bit of a downswing in his career, whereas I think Kennedy's on the up. Like, it looks like the UFC wants Kennedy to probably win this fight and keep moving up the ranks because you got a guy 3-fight win streak, 2-fight losing skid. Kennedy, I think he wins this fight, man. I think he wins, guys. I like him quite a bit in this fight, Marcel. I think he's going to be super durable. He might maybe he just gets eaten alive, but still, like he's going to be there for the 3 rounds. He's going to come forward. Great cardio. I think he probably finishes Dustin Jacoby in this fight. That's what I think. So I'll take Kennedy inside the distance. That's my pick. What do you think, man?
Yeah, man. I mean, Dustin Jacoby hasn't looked great lately, got to be honest, in the Murzakanov fight. Yeah, Murzakanov was hurt, and he could have went for the finish, but he just won the 3rd round, and he lost the first 2. The round 3 fight, I think he got robbed in that one. I think he clearly won that one, so maybe just one bad fight. If you look at Kennedy Nzechukwu, yeah, he's doing better as of lately, The only thing that always bothers me with Kennedy is that he goes like this in the octagon like this, and let somebody hit him, and sometimes it's not good news. If this fight goes quick, I prefer Jacoby, but I think overall, Kennedy can win the fight. I think Kennedy has more ways to win the fight. So I'm taking Kennedy here. Do I take it with a stoppage? No, I'm going with decision win for Kennedy. I think he can win here. So yeah, Kennedy by decision, but I'm not sure. I think it's a close fight.
Yeah,
you're way more convinced than I am. I think.
It seems like you're right. I just think he's like on the upswing, man. Again, he has like some advantage in this fight. 7-inch reach advantage, 2 inches of height. And I get it. Jacoby's a really good technical striker, but again, I think the chin's aging a little bit now, guys. So yeah, I like Kennedy in this fight. Let's go to the next fight here. We got co-main event, and it is Tatiana Suarez taking on Jessica Andrade, women's 115. I actually had to double check that it wasn't at 125, Marcel, because Tatiana's dropping down in weight again.
Yeah.
So she's back to her natural weight class here at 115, and she meets the former champion Andrade. Odds for this one, I think she's the biggest favorite in the card. Double check it. Minus 425, yeah. She's the biggest favorite in the card. Minus 425, plus 300 Jessica Andrade. Marcel, I mean, I'm pretty sure you're picking Suarez. I am. And I think she submits Andrade. Like, I've never picked against Suarez. I'm not going to do it now. Why would I do it now? Especially with the way Andrade has looked. She's looked terrible in the last couple of fights. Like, what happened? Looking great. Amazing. Looked incredible against Murphy. Amazing against Lemosha and Calvillo. And then the Blanchfield destroys her. And then Yan Janan knocks her out. And now it's another fight against a grappler. And we just saw her get out-grappled badly against Blanchfield. Listen, man, I love Jessica, former champ, great fighter, man. Going to be a Hall of Famer potentially one day, but I don't think she wins this fight. I think Suarez is super legit. The wrestling's super fucking legit. Averages 6 takedowns a fight. She doesn't fight that often, guys, but she finally came back after that long break. Looked solid against De La Rosa. Guillotine choke. I think she submits Andrade too. Tatiana Suarez by submission, first or second round. What do you think?
Yeah, man, I think Tatiana has now to cut back to 115 for the first time in a long time. You know, she didn't want that the first fight in her comeback, so she went to 125. And Jessica Andrade is going to submit her because of that, if it was on the PlayStation, but it is not. So, I'm definitely picking Suarez here. Listen, man, I haven't, just like you, I never picked against Tatiana Suarez in the UFC. She's amazing. Would have been a champion already, I think, if she didn't get that injury. And after this fight, I want to see Tatiana actually fight with Zhang Weili, but they're probably going to do the Yan, and Yan deserves it as well, Yan Shonan. But Tatiana is great. I think she submits Jessica, and I think she submits her early. I go first round submission for Tatiana.
Yeah, I think she wins too by stoppage. Where's that comment? Andrade is going to be 0-3 after signing with Ali Abdulaziz. Yeah, she's taking way too many fights. JPI, honestly, she is a former champion, a great fighter, but like stylistically, this is a bad fight for Jessica Andrade.
Yeah.
I don't think she'd be able to stop the takedowns. Yeah, it must be, Marcus? Like I think actually, Marcus, I think it is because I want to say like her ex fiance or something, a partner. Remember there was that story where she took all her money. So and I think she started doing OnlyFans, right, to start making the money back.
Yeah,
I have no idea if she has it. I don't know if I'm interested in that one, but yeah,
I've seen some pictures, but yeah.
Oh wow, okay. So it exists. I don't know, Marcus. She's got OnlyFans. Maybe she's doing better than you think. But yeah, a lot of fights in the last year for sure. And honestly, like staying active is good, but it's like almost overkill at this point, right? Like I would say. And this is short notice for her too, guys. She was supposed to fight. Tatiana was supposed to fight Vienna Janjiroba. Even though, how do you say it? How do you say it, Marcel?
Just like Janjiroba.
Anik says it Janjiroba. You know how he says it. I know you've talked to his manager. Her manager, I should say. How long can Tatiana have that belt coming back at 32? Maybe a year or two. I think I've always said she'd be a champion in the UFC, right? Yeah, I understand that. It's not the worst losses, right? At all. It's not. But the
back to back, it doesn't look good.
And the way she lost to Blanchfield was like the wrestling, right? Like it was quick. And also the boxing, she didn't look good either. So yeah. Like Suarez, if she can't get a takedown, she'll probably be in trouble, I'd imagine. But like I think she'll be able to get it easily. Like I can't see how she doesn't take her down, right?
Blanchfield could match her in the striking in the first round. That was shocking to me. You know, I was really Blanchfield. Listen, Blanchfield is my pick to become a flyweight champion. Don't get me wrong.
I know you've talked about it for a long time. You've been saying it for a few years. You're one of the first guys on there. I know.
Yeah, but I didn't expect Blanchfield to match her Andrade with the striking. You know, in the first round.
So me either. No, same here. I agree. I think we all agree Blanchfield's good. I think Suarez is legit too. All right, let's go to the last fight here, guys. Main event, Cory Sandhagen, the Sandman, taking on Rob Font, stepping in a short notice for Umar Nurmagomedov. Cory Sandhagen minus 315, Rob Font plus 230. I like Cory to win the fight, Marcel. I think he wins the decision. I think he's just going to vary up the strike. To me, it's like we've seen these guys fight. We know their styles. We know how this fight's probably going to go. It's probably going to be on the feet. Font's going to land some good shots with the punches, but Sandhagen's going to land more kicks, more punches, more volume, I think. I do know that the stats say that Font actually lands a little bit more volume, but in this particular fight, I think it plays out. We'll see how it goes, but yeah, I think it's going to be like a lot of Sandhagen fights where he just kind of stays on the outside. And I know that the reach is actually in Font's favor, but Sandhagen, those legs are pretty long, man. They don't have leg reach stat right on UFC stats. I do think it's on the UFC website. Maybe actually I want to check that out. Is there a leg reach stat? You know, Marcel?
I think there is. Yeah.
Let me double check the UFC website. It's not UFC stats, but I want to see what the leg reach is because I think that will be his advantage in this fight. I think the length and the way he fights, right, from a distance.
What did you say? Dick reach?
What?
Dick reach?
Oh, leg reach.
Okay.
Oh, it's actually only 1.5 inches. It's not as big as I thought. Okay, so it's 40 to 38.5. That's interesting. It's on the UFC.com website, by the way. I don't always look at that, but that's interesting. I still think he uses it more effectively. Yeah. And I also feel like Sandhagen's probably the better grappler, too, of the two of them, personally. He's the younger guy. I think he's improving. I think he's looked great. That split decision against Cheeto was a joke that it was a split. I mean, he looked amazing in that fight. He looked amazing at Song. You know, he could have beat TJ. You know, the Peter Yan fight was close. other than Aljamain, really, he hasn't really been ever like dominated, And otherwise, he's dominated a lot of guys. Like he is a dangerous dude, man. Power, submissions, improvements. Again, I don't want to like underestimate Rob Font because man, I have in the past, Marcel. I haven't been the best at picking his fights. I'll admit that. Especially the last one, I didn't think he beat Yanez. Like I was really surprised how dominant he was in that fight. But like this fight, I don't know, man. Sandhagen, I just think I have too many tools. Sandhagen by decision.
Exactly the same pick. Yeah, I mean, I'm more interested who you would have picked between Umar and Sandhagen.
Probably Umar.
Yeah, me too.
If anything else, he's like, no.
I'm pretty much with you there, man. I think Cory will have more output, although that's difficult against Font, But I mean, for Font, people say it's short notice. He was actually already in camp for Song Yadong, but that was supposed to happen on August 19th. So, but I'm still siding with Sandhagen. I mean, Sandhagen only really got a bad loss on his record against Aljamain Sterling. All these others in the UFC he fought.
It's not really a bad loss as the champion too, right? So
yeah, I mean a convincing bad loss. Not a bad loss, but against a clear loss. Let's put it that way. The Jan, I think he lost to Jan as well, but it was competitive. And the TJ I actually thought he won. So. Yeah, I'm picking Sandhagen. I think he's much better than a lot of people give him credit for. So yeah.
And did I say bantamweight? This is actually a catchweight fight at 140.
Yeah.
So just to clear that up for everyone, because it's short. Again, it's not really short notice, but it is short notice for Font. That makes sense. So it's 140. Yeah, I was going to pick Umar in that fight. Umar was the favorite, I think. I'm pretty sure he was. What's Umar's excuse? I don't know. Injured. Anyways,
he had his shoulder. He got surgery on his shoulder.
Oh, okay. Anyways, pretty good card, Marcel. I'm looking forward to, man. We're gonna have a good time watching this one, guys. Again, only 11 fights, which kind of sucks, but it should be a good card overall. All right, Marcel. I say we go to PFL really quick. Kind of go through that if you're okay with it.
Put it on the screen.
Sure, I can do that. Give me 1 sec. PFL 7. I haven't really had a great chance to look at the card yet, guys. I'll be honest, but we'll take a look at it now. We know some of the fights for a while, right? All right, let's go through it. Start at the top here. I'll get the odds out. Bubba Jenkins minus 400, Pinedo plus 300. I mean, I think Bubba's going to just wrestle him, right? What do you think?
Yeah.
I
definitely.
Pinedo had that crazy knockout, but
against Lochnan, yeah.
You think it was kind of fluky? You think?
Listen, man, Bubba's not going to take any risk here. He's going to wrestle.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know about that last knockout. I mean, it was a great knockout, but I don't know if he'll ever do it again. Josh Silveira against Ty Flores. Silveira minus 465. Ty Flores plus 365. I think Silveira probably grinds him out decision. Maybe submits this guy, but he probably wins the fight. I'm pretty confident he wins. Gabriel Alves Braga against Chris Wade. Odds for this one. Braga minus 140. Wade plus 110. What do you think?
I'm playing Wade here, dude. Wade's gonna
wrestle him.
Yeah. I know Wade is a short notice replacement, but I'm picking Wade here.
Yeah, but he's so much experience, right? And like it's not like this is his first short notice fight. I'm sure he's taken a few before. Yeah. He has a lot more experience than this guy, man. 3 times as much. So, what do you think? Decision, Chris Wade?
Yeah, he's gonna out wrestle him probably.
So it's gonna be Bubba Jenkins and Chris Wade the rematch, eh?
Yeah.
Martin Hamlet against Impa. Impa's minus 245. Hamlet plus 185. Impa wins, right?
Yeah, Impa. Yeah, for me as
crazy.
Well.
He might win the money at 205. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Elvis Espinosa against it's okay. Elvis Espinosa against Keone Diggs. Espinosa minus 170. Diggs plus 140.
I like Keone, man. Keone's a fun fighter. He comes from Bellator.
He's a dog. He's a dog there. We got Thad Gene against Ali Omar. Thad Gene minus 400. Omar plus 300. Do you have any? You know much about this guy?
Yeah, Thad did well in the Challenger series, I think.
Yeah. Desiree Yanez is minus 245. Lisa Malden plus 195. I don't really have thought on that fight.
Yeah, I think Dirty Des going to win.
Dirty Des, that's right. Anthony Ivy, former UFC fighter. Aquaman, I believe his nickname is. Carson Hardman. Ivy minus 270, Hardman plus 210. You think Ivy wins?
I'm not really familiar with Hardman, to be really honest, so it's difficult for me to say.
For sure. Chelsea Hackett against Kai Bennett. Chelsea Hackett minus 140, Bennett plus 110. That's the girl that lost to Victoria Leonardo, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my God. She got destroyed by Victoria Leonardo. What are you gonna say? Sorry.
The Australian girl.
Yeah. Sorry. Are you picking her though in this fight?
Yeah, I mean, she ain't
Probably.
bad. She ain't bad.
And then we got Billy Aleksa against Chuck Campbell.
Chuck Campbell come from Cage Warriors, right?
Yeah, Aleksa minus 215, Campbell plus 175. I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah, he had that win over. Oh, he fought. Sorry, he lost him by Dustin, but yeah, that was him. So, yeah, I don't know. The Billy guy, what, Bellator, I believe, right? Wasn't he? No, LFA. Okay. Anyways, yeah, like I said, I'm these prelim guys I'm not super familiar with, but I think, I'm pretty sure Jake and Silvera win for sure. So, like, yeah, it's PFL. I mean, most of the favorites win, right?
Yeah, always.
How many dogs win? This guy's asking. Okay. This one might have a few more than usual because, like,
maybe
some of these fights they're not tournament fights, so they're not that important. So the matchmaking is probably a little bit more fair. But like the fights that are actually part of the tournament, I think most of the favorites win, right?
I think Wade wins.
Wade wins. Okay, we like Wade. Is that the only dog we like? Like one of these women's fights probably has a dog that wins. One of these prelims probably has a dog that wins. Probably, I'd say 2 to 3 upsets on this card. That's my pick. But we both picked Wade as a consensus dog, so there we go. Anyways, I think we're good, Marcel. Is there anything else you want to talk about, or are you good?
I'm good. Maybe, yeah. I don't know. Do you want to talk about something else?
Not really, man. I kind of want to just end it. We've talked for almost 2 hours, and I think we're good. So, anyways, appreciate everyone joining us again, man. It was a lot of fun. Safe 2-leg parlay. I can give it to you here on the podcast. I don't know about the Twitter thing, just because like I work for bookies. I don't know if they'd be happy if I was giving out a bet on Twitter that someone else posted. But I'll tell you guys in the podcast here. That's fine. For the UFC card, a parlay. I mean, I like Suarez. I think you do too, right? Suarez and probably Sandhagen, right? Like those two.
I would do Suarez and Kyler.
Or Kyler too, yeah. And Bahamondes. I like all 4 of those guys. I know they're in like the minus 200 range, but like you can figure a way out to like parlay them and get some even money or something. Like that would do that. Something like that, man. I hate the word safe parlay because like we see so many upsets. The sport's crazy, but like I'm pretty sure Suarez wins and. Yeah, some of those other favorites I like just wins as well. I'll let you know, man. I'm seeing the chat. I'm just not 100% sure right now. I got to think about it more. I'll let you. We'll talk in private, brother. Anyways, Marcel, go ahead.
Who do you think you're going to win by the Ultimate Fighter tomorrow? I've seen the episode already, so I want to know.
Oh, you did? I don't know. I'm not sure. The last week's was interesting. I thought Hubbard won the fight. Glad the judges gave it to him because I thought he deserved it. This week, I don't know, Marcel. Honestly, I'm just excited to watch it. I think that the semifinal matchups were awesome, right? So it's a lot of fun. I really don't know, Marcel. I have to see tomorrow. All right. Anyways, I appreciate everyone joining in, and I'll answer this last question. Who are your leading candidates for male and female fighter of the year? I mean, I would say Blanchfield for women's, or she just doesn't have the win yet, right?
Difficult.
Yeah, Blanchfield. I don't know. I have to think about it some more. Anyways, guys, have a great. I think we'll just end it, Marcel. Male fighter. I forgot. Yeah, it's tough, man. I don't know. This it's only half the year, right? I guess Jones by default almost, but like maybe Volk. I don't know. Volk lost though too. I don't know.
If Islam wins against Oliveira, maybe in.
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's too early in the year still, Marcus. It's a hard question to answer.
Yeah.
I guess Drakus could be too, man. Possibly. Because that win was so big. Something like that. Anyways, guys, now we'll end it. Thanks again for joining in. We enjoyed the podcast this week with you guys. All the questions, appreciate it, comments. Back next Monday, Marcel, to talk about UFC Nasvhille, and then we're going to preview, what's the next card again? UFC Luque and Dos Anjos?
Yeah, Vegas 78.
There you go. So we're at 78 Vegas cards. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Talk to you guys soon. We'll be back next Monday for the next edition of the podcast. Have a great weekend, everyone. Take care. Peace.